All right, everybody, welcome to question 31. We're going to do something for this called completing the square. We're going to go by going from quadratic form, so quad form I'm going to put, and we're really looking to go to vertex form, which is essentially this formula up here. You can see it a couple of different ways, but we're going to use that as our place of our starting point. You also want to remember this formula here, b over 2 squared, which is going to help you complete the square. So this will help complete the square. All right, we're going to complete the square using that formula in red. Now I'm going to go back down and I'm going to, just in a different color, rewrite everything. X squared minus 8x is equal to negative 41. To complete the square using our formula, b over 2 squared, we're going to go ahead and add in our value here, which is going to be a negative 8. So negative 8 divided by 2 squared, going to give us a negative 4 squared, which is going to give us 16. So that's the number right here, the 16 value here, that we're going to wind up using and adding to our equation up here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this stuff here. And remember that we're going to be using 16, so I'm just going to put 16 over here in a circle just so that I can kind of remember that. Don't do that, but just work with me here. So I'm going to go back and do x squared minus 8x plus 16, and then we're going to add 16 on the right-hand side too. Carrying out the math on the right-hand side is going to leave us with a negative 25. And then on the left-hand side, we have to look at what numbers will multiply to 16 and add up to a negative 8, and there's really only two numbers, or one number rather, and that number is going to be 4. Keeping with our equation up here, the negative p, we're going to put a negative here. Now this right here in the square is our final answer. To check our answer, which is what I'm going to do, we're going to check our answer just on the left hand side by multiplying what we have in our parentheses by each other. So two forms of that. X times x does give you x squared. X and a negative 4x gives you minus 4x. Negative 4 and an x gives you negative 4x. And then, of course, a negative and a negative gives you a positive 16, which you can't really see down here because I kind of messed it up and went off the page. If you combine these like terms, CLT, you're going to be left with what was on the left-hand side, which is x squared minus 8x plus 16, which means it checks out. So this answer here is our final answer. You guys did a great job with this. Don't overthink it. All right, so this is question 32. All right, and it's not really that hard. All you're really going to do is look at this, try to take a number out of it to try and simplify, because that's what you're doing when you're factoring this. You're trying to get it down to the simplest form possible. So what you have here is 36 minus 4x squared, and we're going to factor that completely. I'm going to look no further than this number here, 4, to pull out, because 4 does go into 4 equally, and it also goes into 36 equally. So I'm going to take 4 out. That's going to leave me with 9 minus x squared. And then from there, we can continue to simplify it to 3 minus x, and then 3 plus x. Now, this is actually your answer right here, but if you want to check it just to make sure that it's correct, you go ahead and we're going to multiply 3 times 3, which gives us 9. Then we have plus 3x, minus 3x, and then a minus x squared. And then we're just going to combine like terms. This goes away. It leaves us with minus x squared. And then the 4 that we just dropped down. If we continue to check it, it becomes 36 minus 9x squared, and it checks out. So therefore, our answer originally that we had up here, right here, is where we actually are going to stop. But this is just going to help us check the answer. This item's down here. All right, everybody, welcome to 33. While playing golf, Laura hit her ball from the ground. The height and feet of her golf ball can be modeled by h of t is equal to negative 16t squared plus 48t, where t is the time in seconds. On the left-hand side of this, I already have our table ready to go. First thing I'm going to do is use my calculator, hit y is equal to, and you see I already have it plugged in here, negative 16x squared plus 48. And we're just going to hit second graph. We don't need to graph it. We just need to see the points. So we're going to go ahead and fill it in. So we have 0, 0 is going to be our first point. Our second point is going to be 132. And then I noticed that our second point, 2, our x value of 2 is also 32. And then our value of x when it's 3 is our y is 0. So we're going to go ahead and put a 0 there. Then I'm going to go ahead and plot those points real quick. So I'm going to get a little close. I like to be a little anal about this. Oops, can't see that. We're going to have our blue dot there. Then we're going to go up to 1 and hit 32. Move over and hit 32 again. And then 3 is 0. Now, we're not going to do anything yet in regards to graphing it yet because we're going to do a couple of things in math first. The first thing we're going to do is try to find out when the ball is at its maximum height. And we're going to do that by using a formula, negative b over 2a. So we're going to fill in some information. So our b value is 48, so it's going to be negative 48 on the top, divided by 2 times negative 16, which simplifies to negative 48, divided by negative 32, which eventually simplifies to 1.5. That is where the ball itself is at its height, is at the highest for in this particular instance. So now it's asking us what is the maximum height in feet that the golf ball reaches on this hit. In order for us to find that, we're going to take what's in this blue box right here. We're going to plug it into our original equation. So we have negative 16 times 1.5 squared plus 48 times 1.5. We're going to hit enter, and it says 36. So 36 is the actual maximum height value. So we're going to go ahead and plot that. And now we can go ahead and actually do the graph itself. I'm just going to use a different color so you can see. It's not going to be perfect, but you want to make it as good as you possibly can. So 36. So what is the maximum height in feet? 36 feet. Maximum height. How many seconds did it take the golf ball to hit the ground? 3 seconds, because that's when it goes from back down to 0. So we're going to say 3 seconds. So this looks like a lot, and you have to do some work, but it's really not too bad. That's it.